Hi everyone, Jai Guru. Jai Guru. Welcome and see you all. Let's start with our salutations, pranami, prayers. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O Mother, the Supreme Guru, Param Guru, Mahavatar Babaji, the Deathless Master, Kalpa Yogi, our Gurudev, beloved, Paramahansa Yogananda, Sri Yukteswar Giri, Lahiri Mahasaya, Swami Sri Vivekananda, Holy Mother Sharada, Paramahansa Ramakrishna, Adi Guru, the Divine Mother, take us from ignorance to wisdom. Take us to the reality from what we live in and perform in the unreal world. Take us from death to immortality. The fear of death is because of the ignorance. So welcome to you all. Today what we are going to do is take us a little recapitulation of what we had done on the one before, are the two ascents of our journey. Basic purpose of this spiritual journey. What the purpose of the spiritual journey is to realize who we are, is to remove all suffering. All religion talks about this journey. Realization, end of all suffering. Duksha nibritti, ananda prapti. So towards which, let us recapitulate a little bit about the cause of suffering we discussed this last time was primarily because of duality. We, right from the birth onwards, we are on this journey of I, this Robbin Ghosh, this name and the body and the form. I look like this, how tall I am, what is my weight, and this is who I am. This is my knowledge, these are my degree, this is my job, this is my balance, this is my family. And notice, this is what is bringing the disparity, differences, separation. From who? I from you. An aspiration, Vedanta, the cause of all suffering is this. The moment you say, I am different from you, from the rest of the world, I am isolated, I screen myself. So what happens? I find fault with you. It is very rare. I know I am not this, I am not this. Oh, that guy is so much bigger, richer. That wave. Remember the ocean and the wave? Wave is much bigger. My God, that wave is so big. I'm smaller wave. And that one, my God, that tsunami. I do that discrimination with my mind, sure. But with all that, I also say, but I am like that. I am like that. And along with this, the beauty part is people who do not, some people do not know how to receive gift. You hear it, no? Kya zarurat tha? So expensive. We also do not know how to give. We love to give. I know all of you, big-hearted, very kind, loving, wise, great people, but we really do not give. The true giving is without slightest of the expectation. True receiving is without wanting to know how much did it cost. And many of us are like that. But this giving and receiving is, notice, is a separation again. I am receiving it from you, you are receiving it from me. We are different. One of the prime cause of the dukkha nivritti is do not see fault with others. The moment I start to realize that the others are not separate, a closest relationship is mother and the child. You notice in the God's world, mother would be, even the most sectarian mother would guide the child, will be quite firm with the child, will find out this to that, not like this, like that. Yes, they would. But yet, when the time comes, mother will not see the fault. One hand, a great expectation from the parent is to see the children rise way above them. And on the other hand, the true inside of the inside, they have got that's called the Maya. That's the closest relationship. Like that, we know I don't have this, I don't have that quality, that one is better than me. I do that. But side by side, I also isolate myself, cocoon myself with this Maya. In a cocoon, the caterpillar to the butterfly, caterpillar comes out from the cocoon to the butterfly, is the ignorance to freedom. And today's topic, where we are taking up into, with a little recapitulation of this oneness, is the essence, remembering, if you look at it, this is the chair, this is the table, this is a sofa, but they're different forms. But if they were all made of the teak wood, many homes have, they're all teak wood in different forms and names. Ocean and the waves, different sizes of the waves, different shape of the water called ocean or a lake or a waterfall or a pond or a river or a puddle of water. They're all water. It is recapitulating, not true to say waves have water in it. Let me repeat that. Many people make that mistake. Waves have water in it. In fact, this is such a powerful example. I keep telling myself every day, again and again, how can it be waves don't have water in it? But when you reflect on it, reminding, glass has water in it. I can separate the water from the glass, and the glass will stay separate, water will stay separate. This is called contained water in the glass. But can I separate the water from the wave or the ocean or the puddle of the water? I cannot. And if I do, the waves stop to exist, ocean stops to exist, river vanishes, nothing stays. Why? Because the water itself has become to be the ocean, the wave, the bubble, the froth, the spray, the cloud, the river, the pond, the water itself. Water itself. And when you animalize that, it's coming into the today's topic is yoga as the self-inquiry. Inquiry is to know. The journey is a journey. And in this journey, it is, Vedanta says, you don't know who you are. You said, of course I know who I am. with the problem. I'm Robbin Ghosh, here it is. I am, this is how I look. I was born so and so date. I possibly will be dying so and so date. That's who I am. And I am of this age, and I have this good health, or this bad health, or this sickness, or I am like that. Vedanta says, no, you're not. That's your body, that's your name, that's your form. And this is what is the cause of the disease, the suffering, the sickness. Why? Because the moment say, I am this name, body, form, I'm separate. And the moment I'm separate, I like to find fault. I will find fault with people. Fault finding. I cannot find fault with myself either. The moment I realize that I am that, and that doesn't have fault. What has fault? The body has fault. The name also may have fault. The mind has fault. The intellect has fault. The memory has fault. I can't remember. Yes, I remember. I have a very good memory. I don't have a good memory. But the supreme consciousness has no fault. And I am that consciousness. So this journey towards which, as we take you across, let's start off with the journey with these slides, is the journey of the yoga. Who am I? Yoga of the self-inquiry. As we go on through this journey, let me take you across. Swami Vivekananda, the first Hindu monk, took this yoga to the Western world and to India to awaken it, though they were in pockets in ashramas, in Himalayas, in extreme corner, and it was locked down to only the pandits, only the few, and handed down to a few. And the pandit culture who would rule and who would tell and came given birth because the pandits wanted to, very few true pandits, and those true pandits isolated themselves away from the humdrum of the social life and the people. And the others wanted to dominate the world, just like in the Christianity, the church wanted to dominate the British kingdom and the French, as you all know, you all have read about it. So this knowledge was brought across to the world, and primarily to the Western world, to bring across the West was seeking more pleasure, more money, better body, and better fame and name and property and prosperity and sensual enjoyment. And the East was poorer at that time because of the foreign invasion and taken away from the golden bird, Sonika Chidiya. From there, the wealth were taken away by right from Alexander the Great, 326 BC, and then simultaneously, Timur Long, Genghis Khan, Babur, Akbar, Humayun, the brigade of the Muslims. Some of them stayed back, some of them ruled, some of them went back up to looting. Then came the Portuguese, the Zoroastrians, the Persians. Then came the British, the French. And each one of them taken away. So Sonika Chidiya became poor. But even though the poverty was there in the material world, most Indians, they escalated toward the spiritual world. The spiritual center, hub from of the world, right from the beginning of 5,000-6,000 years, exact time is fluctuating between that. And maybe some ancient masters write it is much, much more than that. That our ancient gurus, Babaji, Paramahansa Ramakrishna, and then Krishna to Babaji, Babaji to Lahiri Mahasaya, to Tirshagiri, to Paramahansa Yogananda, Yogananda took it to 1920 to America. Just 27 years after Swami Vivekananda. 1893, 11th September. Swami Vivekananda took what to the world? Paramahansa Yogananda took to the world the yoga, the Raja Yoga. And the supreme of the Raja Yoga is the Kriya Yoga. Before that, 1893, and Iyengar took between Swami Vivekananda and Yogananda to the Western and European world, the Hatha Yoga. And the people of the American Western world, they were all wanting better body, better health, and they fell in love with yoga. But Vivekananda took to the world that you are not your body. And what were people wanting to do? Stretch pants and tight dress and wanting to do the yoga practices of the body and the peace of mind and tranquility and etc. And just watch. Vivekananda told them, you're not your body. You're not even your mind. And then came the journey of the self-inquiry. And it is not a journey like in the most spiritual journey started off with faith. And the moment faith came in, they were skepticals for the thousands of years. Making people believe that God exists is the biggest problem. So the faith, it challenges with that. But the Vedanta is Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra. Vedanta is saying, listen, you don't have to have faith. I want you to experience it. This is what Vivekananda talked about, and Paramahansa Yogananda took it across. Experience the bliss, experience the wellness, experience it. You experience, you are there. You are right now experiencing that you can hear me and see me. You're experiencing it. Do you have any doubt that you are there to listen to it? You have no doubt, but there is doubt. And skepticals came in. Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Higgins. If you all just Google them, they're the staunchest of non-believers. And in the yogic system, even in the Hatha Yoga and in the Samadhi state, the Westerners said, okay, you're going into Samadhi and you experience this. Yes, we understand you've experienced it, very nice. But we know that you have some problem, maybe a tumor in the brain. You will be shocked, surprised. In 1991 to somewhere around 93, to be precise, to 95, I had this huge issue around 1993. I was hearing lots of things. I started hearing and I started asking other people, can't you hear what is happening? Don't you hear? And they started to look at each other in the school and they said, no. I was wondering, what is it? I really 2-3 times when I asked them, and it so happened it was a Saturday and Sunday, one of the teacher rang me up and said, sir, have you read today's Times of India? I said, no, it's the front page right at the bottom, please. I said, see, I don't take. And those days I used to take Financial Express. Trying to learn a little bit. Thank God I gave it all up. He said, please buy it and read it. I said, no, you bring it tomorrow. I'll see it tomorrow. And what is written there? Why do people here? They got lesion in the brain, lesion, tumor in the brain. I said, no, I generally never experienced sickness and disease and things like that. With the divine grace, I don't fall sick. Divine grace. I said, lesion in the brain? We should have a tumor cancer in the brain. Just imagine. So everybody said, you have to go to the doctor. You have to go to the doctor. I dilly-dallied for 2 days and I said, shut up, it's not possible. And eventually I said, okay, let me go. So I remember I went on a Wednesday. It was Wednesday because it was Monday, Tuesday, I dilly-dallied. And when I went down there, and Dr. Sandeep Karmakar, he's still there. He's the head of the ENT Ruby Hall, became one of my best friends. He checked up, why am I hearing everything, did the ENT test. Everything is over. And he had 15, 20 doctors attending. I came back. So he said, we'll have to do an MRI with you. I said, MRI for what? No, you see, and he smiled and he looked at all the doctors. Why is he hearing? Everybody said lesion in the brain. Imagine. I said, no MRI. Let me think about it. I came back and a divine grace, I got the message from Bhagavad Gita. And it says, at this stage, a bhakta would start to hear things like this, see things like this as you're practicing. So notice the Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris and all of them are going to tell you that you've got tumor in the brain. This is the Western science. They think so. But what this yoga for inquiry is saying, discover who you are. You are the Brahman. You're the supreme. And what I was hearing people's thinking, people, whatever they're thinking, and progressively now, the moment I look at a person, I come to know what they're thinking, what they're doing, whether you're in front of me or somewhere else. It's everybody's property. It's just that tapping in, you're just tuning in. It's like right now, is BBC London in this room or in your room? You say no. Why? Because you can't hear it. Sensual perception is not there. I'm saying, hey, get a tuner and just tune in the BBC London. You will get it. Tune in. You will get this message from the Supreme Pranava Dhvani, Omkar Dhvani. You will see beautiful light. And that's the journey of the self-inquiry. Vivekananda kept saying, if only you know who you were, who you are, who you were. So, our question today's journey is, how do we know that? What do we have to do? So what is the spiritual journey? Is the all inquiry. It is not a place. Place is what? When you go to Tirupati, when you go to Kedarnath, when you go to Badrinath, when you go to Kashi Banaras, then you attain some pun and you will be sure the powerful nucleus centers of this special energy. Sure is what? But what Vedanta is saying, you don't have to go everywhere. It is nice. So what you and I do, we combine both. We also visit and we also practice. It's good, no? And we have the advantage of doing both. Why not? And otherwise, what is it? When you go to heaven, that means what? A place. Then you will see God. Whereas the Vedanta is saying, why can't I see God right now? Paramahansa Yogananda coming out of his samadhi, almost 4 hours. And this is in the desert land. He had gone for a retreat. And the devotees are saying, when he was coming in, you could see a light is walking in as if there is no body. This is not a place. It's within us, you and me. It's not in time. When you attain samadhi, when you meet an enlightened master, it's in a time scale. That when you attain samadhi, you will have mystical experiences. You will have it. Now, mystical experiences are not the pathways, yes, but you would experience them as a milestone as you're going along. And if you don't, it's all right. You will. If you're going towards Mumbai, Panvel and Khandala will have to come on the way, isn't it? It has to come on the way. So don't worry about it. It will come. So here are the names. Some of these guys, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Higgins, Sam Harris, they're real non-believers, staunch atheists. And if you listen to them, you will also start believing in their principles. Better not read it. And I would recommend read Vedanta, then read them. And then read back again Vedanta. So you will see a Vedanta who? Not a book very bookish knowledge. Read someone who's enlightened master. Read Sankhya Paramahansa Yogananda in Bhagavad Gita, given to us the 17th, 18th chapter. In 6th chapter, read Swami Vivekananda, Paramahansa Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Vedanta and the Mother. Read Shankaracharya, we keep talking about. So the journey is ignorance to knowledge, not knowing to knowing, not knowing that oneness. And that's why we do all this. Why do I find fault? The moment I know that person and me, we are one, I do not find fault. I find strength. I find gift in them. And if there is some obscurity, there are some faults which are there. All I do, I ignore it. And I pray that ignorance should go away, the darkness should go away, and the light of knowledge should come. Asato ma satkamaya. Tamasoma jyoti gamaya. Jyoti gamaya. Bring the knowledge. So there is no doubt that I am, I know, I exist. The moment I know that I am the water and every other wave is the water, I come into oneness. And then, just like a close example is mother to the child, but not really, because mother also finds fault because the mind is still working. The suffering goes away. But then I and you start to become one. The goal through this yoga of the knowledge came in from Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is pure Advaita Vedanta. But you will be surprised, Shankaracharya has written most beautiful of the poems of the Divine Mother, Saraswati, Durga, Kali, Shiva, beautiful poems. So if you go to Ranchi, you will see Lahiri Mahasaya, the Shiva ling, which he used to worship, is there in Ranchi Yogadava ashram. And they're practicing the gurus. We are the follower of Yogananda and Yukteswar Giri, Babaji, Krishna, Lahiri Mahasaya, and Jesus Christ. And yet the temple is there. So practicing all, we find it is, but principally remembering it is that discovery is within me. It's not out there. To overcome suffering and attain the fulfillment, knowingness is the journey of the inquiry. So, see, no disease of the body is not the cause of the suffering. Meaning, if I have disease is the cause of the suffering, or if I have a bad partner, bad friend, bad neighbor is the cause of suffering, or if I don't have a job is the cause of suffering, or if I have financial constraint is the cause of suffering. These are the things we think is the cause of suffering. It is not the COVID-19. It is not oneness. Wrong idea, wrong notion. And why is that wrong notion and the idea? Because we don't know. We are ignorant. And this not knowing has been going on for thousands of years. And the huge mass today. There are 18 Vedanta centers in America itself. 18 doing Vedanta ashrams, Vedanta studies, Vedanta research, Vedanta universities have taken on. You would be amazed. In India, if you want to study Vedanta and do your master's, you can't find. But in America, you would be surprised. There are a lot of universities offering Vedanta for graduation and master's. It's powerfully known. So discovering who we truly are is the goal. Problem with the other yogas are not really problem, but there are limitations. The brain main limitation is, let's say in Bhakti Yoga, tells you that the ultimate reality is the God. What the problem here? Why should there be a problem? It's a beautiful method. No, the problem comes in a problem because you have to have faith. You have to believe in the teacher. You have to believe in the book. Faith. Most theistic religion is faith. And faith is the problem. Faith is the people will challenge. You may say, let them challenge, let them be fool, let them be monkeys and donkeys. I am not going to budge. Sure, it is. But the direct method, along with that faith, along with the practicing of these, what I'm talking about, is also knowledge. Know and practice. Know why no one can shake you. I know I exist. My existence itself, there is no doubt. When I have that, and then I know that power which I'm searching for is not out there. Otherwise, every journey for us is to go there, to find out. University, school, college, teacher, guru, to a famous Tirthasthan. All of them are important. They have powerful messages. Combine the two with the knowledge of the Vedanta and then practice of the yoga. Then the ultimate reality of the God, Tat Tvam Asi, I am that, you are that. So you are the divine being, you are the divine soul. But we straight away say, me. Yes, yes. How can it be? Different name, different form, different body, different country, different language, different types and looks of the people and name and the mindset and anger and jealousy, hatred, love, kindness, giving, harmony, all of them are mixed up. Which one am I? Is the problem. In the Patanjali Yoga, it's also following, talking about the Sankhya philosophy, which you keep hearing about, talks about in this mysticism. If you do like this, you will experience that. But in this path of direct journey, you don't have to have any mystical experience to know that you are there. But I'm saying, let you and I take up a path where we will have mystical experiences, also knowing always, yes, I'm on my track to Mumbai. I will reach Mumbai. Who can stop me? My car is okay. I have petrol. I have the energy to drive, or I have a driver with me. I'm going to Mumbai. I'll reach next 3 hours, 4 hours time. And on the way, I will have a coffee break also. Have fun. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey with the confidence. No one, nothing can touch me, because I am with the supreme divinity, God, which is within me and in front of me, in everyone. Water is in every wave. That consciousness is in everyone, and all of us are one. Oneness. And automatically you'll find you don't need to put up a screen in front. You don't need to hide. All those shyness and timidities will go away. Lesser successes will go away. Why? Just think. If I am the consciousness, this consciousness itself has created the existence. Existence consciousness. Sat Chit is the Ananda, is the supreme bliss. Existence is everything. This existence of this Robbin Ghosh body is because of the consciousness. And the consciousness is within. So is it with my friend, my family, with you, with the children, with my wife, with my husband, with my parent, everywhere. So that consciousness, understand, has created the rainforest. They created the mighty oceans, the mightiest of the mighty Himalayas, created the desert, created the tiny bubble, tiny microscopic insect which is under the earth, in the air, can't even see COVID-19, and the top of the mountain, And yet, every one of those living creatures, COVID-19 is not living creature, but every one of them are getting their food. It was a beautiful, uh, those of you must have seen, those of you fond of seeing little Animal Planet or Discovery. In the Animal Planet, they showed an old bear. You know, the bears in the wild, they catch the salmon, they wait and catch it, and pretty fast. And so do the wolves. They can catch it from the water and naturally eat it. So this bear, a little old, it couldn't catch. So the bear noticed that supreme divinity, consciousness, God, Allah, whatever name you call, has guided the bear to go up on top of the waterfall. And the salmons and the trouts have a habit of climbing up the waterfall. Did you know that? It swims up the waterfall and jumps into the pool. From there again goes down and again climbs up. This is what their play is. So as they were jumping, the bear was sitting there with his mouth open and the fish went straight into his mouth. That's the picture they shot. I said, wow, what miracle of the supreme creation of God, consciousness, divinity, Brahman, whatever name you call. Indeed. So no doubts, no problem again can be doubted. So getting on to, in the path of the inquiry, we are going into the structure of the all experience, in which there are, how do we do this journey of the self-inquiry? There are many ways. The one which we are talking about is Drik Drishya Viveka. I will try and see if I can show you that book. Drik Drishya Viveka. And in which, in the Drik Drishya Viveka, is talking about, remember, often we talk about subject and object. English old grammar. Subject is doing, there is a small book right in front on the left hand side. Drik Drishya Viveka, DRG. And it's is the seer and the seen. Seer is the subject who sees. You and I are the drashta. We are seeing, right? And drishya. So there are many ways of doing this inquiry. One of them is famous. Thank you, Bob. This is the book, Drik Drishya Viveka. It's a very thin book, but you will be surprised. 298 verses has been written just to explain this little book. It's extremely powerful. We need to study our own mind through the meditative, our own self, through the books. Take out some pockets of time. I know many of you are doing it. I am aware. And straight away it comes to my name comes is some of them. Taplial Saab. I know Rajiv is doing a lot of studies. I know there are others too. Please share with me. These studies, what it does, it gives you a little guideline and finds out what the giants had discovered thousands of years ago. You can dip into it and then taste it. It's like a recipe you learn, you make it, and you eat it. So taste the mango. No idea of going to a library and librarian has got all the books. He doesn't know anything, doesn't understand anything. Or just by reading the book will not be. It has to have 3 steps. Shravanam, very simple. You have to listen. You have to be able to repeat what you listen. This is very important of Shravanam. Shravanam, you should be able to say exactly what you have heard. Then you have listened to it properly with absolute attention. Meaning, can I repeat it? Mananam, reflect on it, ask question, clarify it, reflect double time, make it clear, no doubts. And then Nididhyasanam is the ultimate, is to make it your own. Have I got it? Once you get it, it's like think, think. Charles' law, Boyle's law, Faraday's law, everybody studied, no? Do you remember them? No. Why? Because you didn't make it your own. But if you've been teaching it or if you've been experimenting with it, you will not forget it. But notice, you never forget the vanilla ice cream taste. Why? Because you made it your own. Supposing I make you show you a mango. Imagine you've never seen an Alfonso mango. And I show it to you. You're a foreigner or something like that. And I tell you, this is Alfonso mango, and this is what it tastes. And I make you taste it. And you naturally eyes avoiding, and you say, it's called the king of the fruits. Say, wow, really nice. And they're really nice right now in the market. Now, I tie up your eyes. And I give you blackberry, I give you peach, I give you plum, I give you lychee, I give you guava, and I also give you mango. Your eyes are tied, and I'm putting one piece at a time and ask you, can you taste it? Can you tell me what is it? You may be able to tell one or two if you're familiar with all of them, all of them. But the moment I put the mango, you will smile and he said, this is mango, I just tasted it. Just like that, the great masters, they have experienced the truth of oneness. So they do not have avaranas. Maya has got two properties. Vikshepa, avarana. The avarana, covering or occluding, and that's what is keeping you away and making you suffer. The moment that avarana goes away, Maya cannot deceive you anymore. The great masters have known, I am water, they're all water. All the waves of water, they're all one. He will continue to play the role of that wave, role of that master in that body, till the time they leave the body. Choose to leave it. And during that, they will continue to give such love to every disciple that they will say, even my father and mother doesn't give me this love. And this love is something is unbelievable. I have experienced it. I naturally want to experience it all the time. But it was divine grace that I experienced it only once. I would love to experience it more and more. And you and I need to take up the journey to become that. That's what is our journey. So Taittiriya Upanishad talks about sheets, 5 sheet system. And we talked about seer and the seen. That is Vigdishya Viveka. What is that seer and the seen? Let's say my eyes and the seen. Drashta and Drishya are separate. First law. Seer and the seen, first law. The seer and the seen are separate. They're different. Drashta and Drishya are different. Eye is not the object to be seen. Second, eye is relatively one. And seen are many. You're seeing through the webinar many things. Soon the webinar will stop. You will see something else. And in this seminar, whatever is going on, you're seeing people and things like that and the movements. And drashta, seer, more or less remain constant, third law. But seen are changing all the time. So to summarize, seer and the seen, drashta and drishya are separate. Seer and the seen are separate. Seer remains relatively one. Seen are many. Seen continues to changing. Seer remains one. Now, little later you realize that, oh, I realize that I need a spec. I can't read very well. I realize my eyes are closing. Robbin Ghosh started boring, boring. I feel sleepy. The eyes are sleeping. I realize that. I realize that my eyes are closed. I love to meditate. When I'm listening, I love to listen to it with my eyes closed. I too love to do that. Concentrating on the ear faculties at that time. If it is picture on thing, then I like to see and so who's that I who's realizing my eyes need a spec? I need to change my power. I need to put some eye drop. My eyes are closing. I'm feeling sleepy. Who's that I? And you realize soon it is the mind. So the eye sends it through the brain to the mind, the image. Till today, the Western world has not managed to fathom how does it go from mind to the mind, from the brain, from the neurons to the mind, a first person experience. They have not discovered it. They're saying, give us 20, 30 years more, we will. So, Vedanta has discovered it. He said it is thousands of years old. It is not the mind. Mind is also an object. How is it an object? Mind is also changing. And who's seeing it? Supreme Drashta, the consciousness. The Supreme Chaitana is seeing the mind. How? I know, Chaitana, consciousness, no. I'm happy. I know I'm enjoying my talk. I know I am angry. I know I'm sad. I know I'm worried about my money. Where is it going to come from? I know I have faith in my practices and in my supreme deities, that is Sankhya philosophy, that is Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman. I have the overall entity of oneness of Brahman. I know I will not be poor. I know money will come. I know I will attain the oneness within me. I know I will. How can I not reach Mumbai if I'm on the track, if I'm driving, if I'm practicing every day? How can I not? And that's why you and I need to practice this. So who's this I is now? Is the consciousness, is the chit. This is the seer and the seen, discrimination of inquiry to understanding, self-inquiry. There are others. Taittiriya Upanishad, you all know, we have talked about 5 sheep, food. The famous actress, Italian actress in Hollywood, came to attend the Vedanta session. And another lady said, you are so pretty. She said, my prettiness, beauty is because of pasta. She loved to eat pasta. And she said, my beauty is because of pasta. It is the food, Annamaya Kosha. And then Pranamaya Kosha, my breath, keeps on changing. And I know I'm not my food. I know I'm not my prana. I know Manomaya Kosha, I'm not my mind. I know I'm not Jnanamaya Kosha. 5 sheets, this is the 4th one. And then the Anandamaya Kosha. The 5-sheet system, we shall some other time. And then goes to Mandakya Upanishad. You and I have done it. It's saying in the self-inquiry, okay, you don't have to have faith. You know that you exist. You know that you are awake, you're in Jagrat state. You know that. You know you're sleeping and dreaming, Sapna state. You know you're in deep sleep. You know it. Talk between a British neuroscientist, philosophers in India. It happened in India itself. And one of the Vedantist philosophers asked the scientist, Doctor, in deep sleep, is there consciousness? He said, as per Western science, there is no consciousness in deep sleep. And the Vedantist philosopher said, as per Vedanta, in deep sleep, the only thing that exists is the consciousness, because of which, when you wake up, you say, I had a beautiful sleep. I don't remember anything. I really flaked out. And then it's the Turiya, the 4th stage. That is another journey, and many more. So ask yourself these questions, which I said. Shravanam, can I repeat what I've heard? If I can't, do the study again. Can I, Mananam, reflect, understand, ask questions, clarify it, make it my own, the entire understanding? And Nididhyasanam, I meditate on it. I meditate on the essence of Vedanta in one sentence. I remember it now. Tat Tam Asi. Remember, no? You are that. It's one sentence. In two sentences, remember, what were they? Number one, express the divinity from within and manifest it in every walk of life. You are divine, you're kind, you're loving, you're so caring. Yes, you are. That's who you are. And express that divinity in every walk of life. And the moment you do that, you know, you will not find fault. You will see in Bengali, Holy Mother Sharada, in her book, can I show it? Oh, yeah. In this book, Holy Mother with Vedanta, she's got the golden rule written down. In Bengali, she's saying, Onner dosh dekhbe na. Don't see faults of others. दूसरे का गलती मत देखो, उसके ऊपर ध्यान मत दो. Pay to the strength of the people. Uplift the strength and erase the weaknesses. So is it real? Is it a fact? Then making it, staying with it, nothing can budge me. Why? Because it is firmly with me now. And that firm with me is the Nididhyasana, living and breathing it. I would recommend every moment of life, throughout the day, before you do every good thing, like eating, like wearing clothes, like taking a shower, think about oneness. Think about Brahman, God, Allah, Christ, Krishna, Divine Mother, Kali, Durga, Saraswati, Shiva, any name that you would like to consider it and proceed. Somebody's mic is on. May I request you? So, in the Drigdrishya, looking at the first sutra, Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik. And this is what it meant, what we talked about it just now. Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik. What we see, eyes are different from the eyes, seer and the seen are different. And then, understanding, ask you those three questions. Did I hear it properly? Did I understand it? If required, I'll ask question. I make it my own. And then the going into the sim. The second part of it, tat drishyam dikkata. And going into the eyes now become the seen and the mind is the seer. And then goes into the third, where the mind itself becomes the seen and the consciousness itself is the seer. Seer and the seen are different, drishta and drishya are different, going into the changes of the mind. Third part is drishya, drishyate, sakshi. The drishya alone, seer alone is the consciousness. Consciousness does not change. It doesn't affect. It's like the sunlight. It's that the light reflecting on the table. I can see the book, I can see the computer, I can see the clock, I can see different objects. The sunlight is falling on the dirty thing on the road. It's falling on the holy water. It's falling on the pitcher of wine. Doesn't get drunk, doesn't get holy, doesn't get dirty. Same way is the light. It is discerning various objects. So the consciousness is aligning the mind, lighting up the mind, which in turn through the brain, through the body and the five senses, acquiring the world. Now just think, that's why when you're not conscious, unconscious, or in coma, you can't see the world. So your world, your drishya is you, your Brahman, your consciousness. Remember, that consciousness is your world. If you're not conscious, you don't have the world, don't have the universe. If I'm dead, I have zero consciousness, there is no world for me. If I'm in coma or in deep sleep, I'm not aware. Dream state little bit, or weekend state better depending on my focus state of mind. If I'm totally focused, 100 out of 100, I know the world. Most of us are seeing and perceiving the world very little, 9 to 10%. So, subtle sthula, going into the objects of our awareness, this is how the brain is continuously monitoring. And the thoughts are also object. I know, what am I thinking? I want a coffee. A coffee vritti has come up, bubble. Awareness, consciousness, and the mind, but they're not the same thing. Most people think, I am a personality, I'm a person, I'm an embodied person. Embodied person is body, mind, name, and form. Now, the essence of the journey today is to say, they are your apparatus, your apps, your mind, your body, your brain, your senses are your apps. You are you, that one I, and which is everybody. And that's oneness of the consciousness. Water everywhere, gold in every ornament, whether PNG or Tiffany or anywhere that you go to. Awareness is like that light, illuminates things and various objects coming into it. Consciousness is always the drashta, seer, is seeing. Mind and the sense organs playing the role of the seen, and we are perceiving the world. And this is why it has been told to us again and again, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. And you say, come on, this is the Jagat, this is my wife, this is my husband, this is my children, this is my world, this is my life. If it is so, remember, what is Satya and what is Mithya? What is real and what is unreal? Intrinsic quality and borrowed quality. Hot potato, I love to eat it with butter in it. But its heat is from the hot water. Hot water's heat is from the hot pan. So they are all mithya heat. Heat is mithya. Hot pan is from the hot fire. Hot fire is intrinsic quality. You take the fire to Siberia or North Pole, it will still be hot, not the other stuff. The first point, drishya and drashta are separate. Second point, drishya are many, drashta is relatively one. Third point,
it's 12 o'clock.
Drashya keeps on changing, drashta remains the one. So how do you use it now? Just giving you one example. You are experiencing your headache, your pain in the knee, your fever, your pain, your suffering, your lack of money, or I need more money. You are experiencing it. You are the drashta. So that drishya, that money status, that sickness, fever status, that headache is not you. It is not I have a headache. I am experiencing through my mind and the body that pain. The moment you drashta and drishya separate, now what happens is you will say, hey, come on, After all, if I burn my finger, I'm experiencing that pain. Yes, you are. This question was asked to Shankaracharya by a devotee. Gurudev, very nice, I understand, but my finger is burning. I'm burning. I feel the pain. He said, yes, but who's feeling the pain? It is you are feeling the pain. So what happens in this? What is the journey then? This is to intrigue me a lot, and I'm delighted to realize that I've understood it now. We are in the process of experiencing it. The moment you keep on telling yourself, I am the witness, I am the seer, I am not this pain, I'm not this financial status, I'm not this getting affected COVID-19. I am not the one which is the poor financial status or lack of cash flow. You know what happens? The consciousness is the supreme power, which is I, which is creator of the rainforest, the desert, the mighty Himalaya, can create anything. And this is how you experience Mahavatar, deathless Babaji, Kalpa Yogi. He is chosen to retain his body. You choose. You go beyond Asato Ma Satkamaya, to unreal to real, Tamas to Jyoti, and death to immortality. And then you choose. Body will age. Then you choose. I wish to leave my body now. Paramahansa Ramakrishna was asked by Turiya Maharaj, Hari Maharaj then. Hari Maharaj was then Brahmachari. Thakur, kemon acho? How are you feeling? Thakur said, throat is paining, big tumor in the throat, can't eat. Something Hari Maharaj saw made him say a very strange thing. He said, but Thakur, by looking at you, you are in bliss. You are in great ananda. And imagine, no cancer patient would love to hear that. Think, Paramahansa Ramakrishna laughed and he said, rascal has caught me. Sala ne pakad liya. What does it mean? That means, what is Paramahansa Ramakrishna telling lies? No. He knows he is the seer. This body is not him. Yes, the body is going. There is a great monk, operated, whole night, spent sleepless night because of the body pain. The devotees come in the morning, bhaktas come and say, Maharaj, how are you today? He said, I'm fine, I'm okay. He said, but Maharaj, whole night you were in pain, you couldn't sleep, the doctor kept running. He said, oh, yes, my body is not fine, my body is not fine. Now this, what happens is, what the Vedanta is telling you, but you don't have to experience it. Eat the mango. How? Through sadhana yoga. To practice it, I am not this financial state. I'm not this pain. I'm experiencing it. Through my consciousness is seeing it through the mind. And we shall deal with it more and subsequently. So, light shines on the Ganges. Light doesn't become holy. It shines on the drain water, it doesn't become dirty. Consciousness, which we are, reveals everything in the world and in the body and the mind, but free and untouched by them. Brahma Satyam Jagat Nitya. The fourth part is Drigena Drishyate. This pure consciousness, this witness itself, is the ultimate seer, is you. You cannot experience the consciousness as an object because it is not an object. Object is something which is done to, whereas consciousness is itself. Consciousness is never an object. Ultimate. Pure consciousnness is the illuminator, is the light. So like, let me give you an example. Good thing it came to my mind. You have days and night. Sun comes in, up, rises, day, sets, night. But think, dear devotees, you all are divine souls. If we had the way to go to sun itself, will there be day and night? There is no night. There is only day and day. A small example. On a daytime, cricket field, bright sunlight. People are ready to come to play cricket. You're in the center of the cricket field. Bright daylight, no cloud, nothing. Will there be a patch of darkness in the cricket field? No. In the sun, there is no night. In the consciousness, there is no object. Light is falling on this table, you can see. You are seeing in the mirror. You are seeing what? You say, I see myself. This is me. No, it is your reflection. It's the reflection of your face. Have you realized you can never see your own eye? Strange, no? So you are seeing, you say, I can see myself. No, you are seeing your body, the face of your body through the reflection. So, existing, knowing this, we are free of the suffering of this material world, because I am not this material world. And what happens? I realized today, and the Vedanta is talking about, and Paramahansa Yogananda has written in the autobiography, such miracles taking place. Yukteswar Giri, Vishnu, Paramahansa Yogananda's friend, dead, goes running, cycles down from Kolkata to all the way to Rishra. Must have taken at least 45 minutes to 1 hour, 1.5 hours. I know it takes that much. I have driven that distance, cycled. Goes and tells Gurudev, saved by a friend. He is dead. What did you do? And was fighting with. Yukteswar Giri looks at him and he says, can you see that oil? Take that oil in this little, he had an empty homeopathy bottle. He used to give homeopathy medicine also. Yukteswar Giri was a great astrologer, great scientist, and he wrote that beautiful book, Holy Science. You should read it. You will know this is not Kali Yuga. You are already in Dwapar Yuga. Dwapar Yuga is information age. We are in IT age. Now, he says, take that oil, go and give it to him. Paramahansa Yogananda said, what, Gurudev? He is dead. He said, go open his mouth and put it in his mouth. Please read it in Autobiography Yogi. He goes cycling fast, goes, opens his mouth, puts it in his mouth, and looking carefully. And suddenly, Vishnu shudders, lets out a foul breath, and gets up alive. Consciousness through the special guidance. So, there is something called abhyasa. And it is mentioned by, don't impose what is not yours into your own self, called wrong habits. Don't impose on yourself in the early morning, the ring bell, 3:30 or 4 o'clock, whatever your ring supposed to be, make it. If you're making it 6 o'clock, try and make it 4 o'clock. Sleep a little early. You will do it. Otherwise, I would not mention it. You will feel like pressing the snooze button. Don't do it. Otherwise, your alus, your laziness is already taking over you. Say, sleep time is gone. This is God's time, Brahman time. I'm going to get up. So, say, I'm not the pain. I'm only the aware of the pain. This consciousness does not set. It does not go rise or set. And how is it non-dual? Seeing different from the seer. Remember the example of the water in the waves? It is one. Gold in the ornament, it is one. And it is the five senses bringing the world as an object to me. In every condition of my life is an object to me. And I, the Supreme Brahman, I am Atman Brahman, is witnessing it. The moment you align yourself, you will see that bliss will come. You will taste that divine feeling. And you see it with the great masters. You see it with your grandma also. She doesn't bother about your child who's playing such nonsense. Grandma says, "Theek ho jayega." So I am non-dual. With this, I am done for the day. We got a lot of things to be done. We're about 10 minutes over. Do you have any question?
Sir, it is very easy. I mean, we are aware of the fact that I am not the pain. I am aware of the pain. But one small common cold, and we are not able to, uh, uh, experience the same thing. That we become the common cold. We become the pain, even though we are aware. Yogananda has said that the whole of life is a military preparation for the point of death. So I shudder to think what will happen at that point, because there will be so many different varied experiences. So what we are aware that, see, at the point of death we have to think of God, but we kind of, what are the progressions? What are some of the progressions we need to take towards that journey, wherein we are able to isolate the pain from us and keeps be aware of the consciousness?
Very big one. Rajiv, very big question. But look at it with its entirety. Same way, going straight into the punchline of the example that you quoted, Paramahansa Yogananda, he followed, he is an Advaita Vedantist, he followed Sankhya Yoga more, Sankhya Yoga. And notice, he did not die. He left his body. He told everybody. And not only that, look at it, 22 days. I think it is the last page, page 493 or something, where the mortuary in LA writes it. There is no mildew in his skin. There is no foul odor. There is no wrinkle. We do not know. And there, it goes on to write, till his death, he explained, which is this yoga? This is that yoga which he attained. So, what are the promises? Rajiv, very good question. But this is the journey, sir, is through Abhyasa Yoga, everyday steps. And I realized today, I am just a fellow traveler with you, with a tiny understanding. The moment you start to believe, not faith, that I have tasted the mango and this is mango, this is not a lychee or a thing, this is not that suffering, what's going to happen is that consciousness will bring about that change. Your pain, in Paramahansa Ramakrishna's case, his body was suffering intense pain, but he had detached himself. Turiya Maharaj, in one of the incident, it is also written down in Himalaya. He was with a group of friends, and you've got a similar example in autobiography where Babaji with Lari Masai and many devotees, foreigner devotees, they were sitting on the ledge of a Himalayan cave, and somebody asked Turiya Maharaj, you are saying we are not body, we are Brahman, we are not name and form. Can you put your hand into this fire? Turiya Maharaj said, yes, I can. And he was going to put in his fire. Now, what would have happened? Supposing he had done it, there are other people controlled dopamine that don't do it, don't do it. Body will burn. Yes, the body will burn. But he has detached himself from the body just to prove it to that guy that, look, I can detach myself from the body. I am not the body. He did that same example with one of the operation which we had talked about, a boil in his left shoulder. He told the doctor, go ahead, give me a minute. And then he said, go ahead. He said, I have to give you anesthesia. He said, no need. The doctor finished the operation. It's supposed to be carbuncle, very painful operation of a removal of boil with root. He went away. Deep wood. Next day he came. Surya Maharaj was talking to his disciples. He came now. Doctor thought Surya Maharaj already gone through that operation. He didn't even bother to tell him, Sir, I've come. Can I start operating? Surya Maharaj must have been so engrossed in talking, he didn't even realize. Now he opened the bandage, and when he removed that patch, it must have got stuck with the wound or something. Surya Maharaj let go one yo, and he said, "What is it?" The doctor was surprised now. He said, Sir, yesterday I operated on you. You didn't say anything. How come you had got so much of pain? He said in Bengali, Aage bolbe to. You should tell me before so that I will detach my consciousness with my mind. That feeling, mind will not send the pain. So, what is the message in this? For your question, in our journey, every day, Paramahansa Yogananda has given us the step. Follow those practices virtually. And today I realize understanding it better has made it much better to me through the Vedanta. That Vedanta with, and this is why I asked Shraddha Maharaj, Shraddha, when he had come here, that, Sir, do you think Paramahansa Yogananda was a Vedantist? He said, yes, he was. Otherwise, he cannot write Vedantic book on autobiography, yogi, and especially Bhagavad Gita. So I wanted to know more. And this is why the journey, now it is making it my thing is very simple. I find there is such similarity in all the religion and all of them talking same. I talked to staunch Islamists and they say, do you know this wave in the ocean, what you're talking about? You open the Quran and see it is written here. Same thing is given there. I learned wave in the ocean from Vedanta, from Shankaracharya and from Vivekananda. So yours and my message in this answer to your question, know yourself, and that you has an apparatus called body and the mind and the senses and the mind with its intellect and the memory. Utilize them as the app, stay detached. See the detached consciousness in everyone, oneness in all. My wife, my mother, my friend, my people, they're one. I don't see their fault, but I uplift them, erase their fault by guiding them gently. Eternal love towards them and express that divinity which is I from within. And soon enough, you will see before things happen, that mystical experiences will start to happen. Why? Because as you're going to Mumbai, Khandala has to come on the way. So they are pathways, but don't get attached to it. The worrisome thing, which is the warning from all great masters, they don't cash on those mystical experiences. You will have that power, but they're not our target. Our target is something else. But yes, use it for the welfare of people. Use it to tell. So somebody comes and asks me, it just happened right now, it is happening in the school. Sir, 12 years, I don't have a baby. And it is now, this is the third time it is happening. And I said, do you believe in this? Then what do you do? You know what I started? I gave them Vedantic text. I said, she doesn't believe in all this till now. She is a believer and she's a good lady. I said, start reading it and translate it into English for me. The while translating it, she must have read at least 10, 15, 20% understanding and doing it. I think she has done maybe 7, 8, 9, or maybe little less, 5, 6. Only that many. You know what? Shada ma'am was telling me last evening, sir, she's conceived with twin. 12 years, no baby. Where does it come from? I had no doubt she will if she follows this track. That following, the doing, Abhyasa Yoga, we have to do it. And we have to have faith in what? Not faith blindly on the book or the teacher, or it is on that supreme Chaitanya consciousness in me, which the world over is doing research. And that's how today Harvard, Stanford, Oxford, they're all studying Vedanta. And yours and my journey, it's so beautiful, it's so energizing. And Look at, there are so many people, 60, 70 years, no sickness, no disease. You won't require specs. You won't require audiometry gadgets. You will have perfect so-called health. And as you keep practicing with Babaji's and the grace blessing, remember, we have to row the boat. But along with that, if we raise the sail, then the divine grace is always there. But we have to raise the sail. Raise the sail is this Abhyasa Yoga. Otherwise, we are just laboring. Everybody is laboring with our body, mind, and the senses. When I raise the sail, then the divine grace will come and make things happen. So when do we attain realization? Through samadhi, or by itself, or all together, combine everything? When the grace dawns upon. It's a very big question. It's a realization. We will keep discussing it. Does it answer your question, Rajiv? Would you like to ask some more? Rajiv?
Sir, thank you. That answers my question.
All right. Happy journey. Any other doubts? Any questions?
Yeah, so hi, this is Aditi. I have one question. So, since I was really interested in the methods of Kriya Yoga, I wanted to ask you this. So, Sankhya Yoga, you mentioned Hatha Yoga is balancing, moon and the sun side, Ha and Ka side. And Sankhya Yoga is about knowledge. Everything is through Vedanta. It basically leads to Vedanta. I would wanting to know more about mechanics of Kriya Yoga, like how people are not really able to put it in words, how this path, how this path is followed and how it is. So about that. And second question is, you had one line written that universe is nothing but shapes and names. So I just got remembered of the fact that, chanting. So the chanting, and that's why some people, just by chanting, they just realize the names and the forms of gods. So is it that? So those two questions, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, not at all. You said your name is Revati, is it?
Aditi.
Aditi, okay. Aditi, are you a Kriyaban yogi?
Sir, I'm just studying
Have you been
everything.
Initiated? Have you been
No,
initiated?
sir. No, never been
Not
initiated,
yet?
but I'm
Okay.
really interested and I'm studying. Yeah.
Sure. What we'll do, we'll talk, most of the practices of the Kriya Yoga and the making it simple, clearing, it is kind of a process with which you have to become a member of the YSS. And if you are not aware, just send me your email ID, or you can talk to one of your colleagues, or do both. We will give you the link. You get connected to YSS Ranchi, and they will start to guide you. There are beautiful lesson plans which will take you step by step. Now, giving you the part of that question of the first question, is the Kriya Yoga is, firstly, there are four methods, four yogas: Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Now, the second question of yours is the Nam Japa. Is, listen, each one of the yogas will take you to the same infinite Brahman realization, samadhi, the enlightenment, the moksha, whatever you call it. Every one of them will. What we are doing right now, what I have come down to, I would say, divinely placed to mix all of them. We do everything, all of them. Now, if you just do Nam Jap, how many times do you do a Nam Jap, Aditi?
So like about once a day.
Now, how many times when you do the japa?
108 minimum.
How many?
108 minimum.
108, 108. I'll just give you an example. Holy Mother, she used to do every day 2 times japa. And she used to do, don't get a heart attack, 10 lakhs japa every time. If you want to truly attain through japa, you have to do like that. And if you truly do 108 times japa, which you are doing it, you see it will take you around 15 minutes to 12 minutes.
That's true.
Imagine 1 lakh japa. It will take you something about hour and a half.
That's true.
Imagine for 10 lakhs, how much time? And uh, she would often, after the japa, she would go into the samadhi. And when she will come out of the samadhi, and Radhu used to be her attendant, and she used to say, Radhu, where are my hands? Where are my legs? I can't feel them. And slowly she will come out into her body. So, yes, that is also a powerful way to do it, but you have to follow a certain process. In the Kriya Yoga process, the japa is also there at the part of which we do. We have the first, there are certain exercises called energizing exercises. There are 38 of them. You must do them to get out of the nodules in the body. Those nodules get lodged in because of our worries and thinking in the muscle, and which in turn, when you sit down to meditate, you will see you can't sit still. Something will start itching, something will start moving, and your bottom will pain, knee will start paining. Why do they happen? It happens because of these nodules in the muscles. So you take them out through various ways. The energizing exercise is a very powerful one. Through that, then you come down and you practice called Hamsa. And before the Hamsa, there is something called 20-20-20. It's about 5 to 6 minutes. And after that, do 20-20-20. It's about 10 minutes. 20 minutes, 20-20-20 is about 3 to 6 minutes. Then Hamsa is about 10 minutes or so. And then Omkar meditation, where you're doing japa, Omkar. And from there, you go on to doing certain Kriya Yogic practices until the time you graduate to Kriya Yoga, you practice onto the meditation state. And then slowly, there are stages of Kriya Yoga initiation. And sure, you're welcome to the world. Kriya Yoga coupled with Vedanta, it gives you absolute clarity and understanding. Kriya Yoga is based on Raja Yoga. It is the 108 types of Raja Yoga. It is the 108th one. And Raja Yoga is Sankhya Yoga. It is not Advaita. Vedanta are many. There is Shuddha Vedanta, there is Shuddha Vishuddha Vedanta, there is Sankhya Vedanta. Ramanujam is the one who started off that. There is Advaita Vedanta, Shankaracharya who actually not started it. Even before Shankaracharya, there's Govindapada, Gaurapada, etc. had brought in. And even Gaurapada was not the originator before them. So Advaita Vedanta is considered to be the supreme. But all these are in variations of the Vedanta. So understanding your question, that Kriya Yoga practices along with very simplify your process right now till the time you start to get connected. Start to see goodness in everyone, not finding fault, which is our common trait, we have grown up with that. Start to, number one, not even in a joke, tell a lie. Number three, align yourself with I am something, I don't know what is it, but I'm not my mind, not my body, not my name, not my form. But I function through them. My mobile, my computer functions through the apps. I am not running off fourth one. I'm not running up to the Himalaya in a cave and sit down there. No, I stay at home. I play the role of the daughter, the wife, the mother, or whichever the role I'm in. I play it 10 out of 10. Now, supposing I'm a mother or a father. I'm also a son and a daughter. I'm also a professional. I'm also a teacher and a student. So mark yourself. Don't tell me, silently do it to yourself. You may wish to share with me later. I ask you to mark yourself out of 10. Let's say for this academic exercise, for everybody's benefit, you could do it in your mind right now. Let's say, Mark, are you married, Aditi?
Yeah, so married with the kid. My kid studies in your school.
Okay, Aditi. Okay, fine, beautiful. Aditi, now you ask yourself, how good a mother am I? Mark 10 out of 10. 1 is least, 10 or 0 is least, 10 is perfect. Don't tell me, just mark yourself. Mark yourself with a wife. Mark yourself as a teacher. Mark yourself as a friend. Mark yourself as a professional. And take 6 topics, and you will notice that it is very rare when we mark ourselves perfect 10 out of 10. When you align yourself with the consciousness, you are a 10 everywhere. What is the advantage here? Very simple. Supposing I am the wife and I'm waiting with my son to go for a marriage, and husband is supposed to be coming back, had gone for some quick errand, and supposed to come back at 8 o'clock in the evening for the marriage. We are all dressed up and waiting. 8:15, 8:30, 9 o'clock, calling up, not picking up the line. 9:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock. I'm fed up, frustrated. I'm the wife. Husband comes. Supposing I have not marked myself 10 out of 10 as a wife, I will take a machine gun and do da 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 da. What is this? Supposing I mark myself 10 out of 10. I am not a 10, but I mark myself. I said I'm going to, not fraudulently, I'm working towards it because I'm the consciousness. I am the Sat Chit Ananda. So what do? I say, come, let me give you a glass of water. Something caught you. You talk to me later. You get dressed first. We'll go a little late. It's all right. I understand. And husband must be wondering, oh my God, I'm going to get something. And husband is peaceful, happy. And husband will say, wow, you are the true wife. Can you see the difference in the approach? So these 4 or 5 simple principles. And to start with, sit every day in the morning, at least 15 minutes to start with. Put your champion son also with you and start off with this meditative practice in which just simple breathing in and breathing out. Close eyes, focus between the eyebrow into the third eye, Agya Chakra. I don't want you to pay attention to the breath. This is Advaita Vedanta Pranayam. Don't pay attention to the flow of the breath. In Kriya Yoga, you will be. But here it is different. You just breathe in, follow the breath. In only the coolness of the breath at the tip of the nose. And when you breathe out, feel the warmth at the tip of the nose. That's it. Coolness and the warmth, not the flow of the air. After about, say, 6 to 10 times, which is approximately 20 to 30 seconds is one breath. So about 3, 4, 5 minutes. Then as you breathe in, now you're following the breath, but along with the breath, you follow whatever good things you would like. Let's say protection for everyone that I know around me from all infection, suffering, sickness, disease, poverty, no money, and harmony and perfect relationship. I breathe in. And when I breathe out all the sufferings, sickness, anger, jealousy, greed, stupidity, small-mindedness, pettiness. I breathe it out. And I breathe in again the good thing, breathe out the bad thing. For about another 3 to 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So that's about 10 minutes. And next 5 minutes, if it is 15 minutes, just be still. No movement. Something will tell you, to mind will tell you, your ear is scratching, scratch it. Don't. Just stay still. And imagine yourself glowing with the light. Supposing a thought comes, I want to have a cup of coffee after this. So it's a coffee vritti. A bubble has come up into the lake of the mind called bubble vritti. That coffee vritti is saying, I want a cup of coffee. You don't think about the coffee or having it or not having it or killing it. Don't think. Just light that vritti, that bubble. Bubble is the vritti. Sanskrit word. Light it with the consciousness light, like the sun lighting the moon, and just be aware of the light, not of the bubble, not of the coffee thought, just the light. You will see initially mind will wobble between thought, coffee, desire, light, and slowly it will settle down in the light. Imagine yourself glowing with that light. I am the light. This light falls on the dirty thing on the road, but the light doesn't get polluted. This light falls on the holy water, river Ganga, but it doesn't become holy. It falls on the pitcher of wine, it doesn't get drunk. The light is eternally detached. I am that. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Atman Brahman. I am that. These are Mahavakyas. We shall deal with it. Does it give you a little answer? Aditi?
Yeah, sir. This answers a lot. Thank you so much.
I send your email through chat to everybody.
Could you, Aditi, send your...
No, I send your email already to the chat to everybody. If they want,
Okay.
they can send
What Shada ma'am, Vice President Principal, is telling, that my email ID is gone to everybody. You can email or send a WhatsApp message, whichever way you're comfortable. Please go ahead. Let us, any other questions, doubts? We have gone over almost 37 minutes today. Let's finish with a salutation. Akasha Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Vayu Shanti, Jalaspataya Shanti, Agnyaya Shanti, Gaur Shanti, Uttaradesha Shanti, Dakshinaya Shanti, Purvadesha Shanti, Paschimaya Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May the Divine Mother, Brahman, our gurus of all religion, of all practices, bless us that we be protected, each and every one who have heard or will hear or will take up the step, with perfect healing. May no one suffer. May no one have any suffering of any kind. Be protected from all ailments, all suffering from poor relationship, all suffering from lack of finance, lack of bliss, happiness, and joy. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Jai Guru.